Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another MasterMind session here, and this is going to be a good one. I know everybody, for ages and ages now has been searching for this elusive, massive magic pill that no one seems to be able to find, but Uncle Tim, he found it. So he wants to tell you all about it here today.
Well, like Bruce said, everybody's looking for the magic pill, whether it's for success in real estate or a diet or whatever it is. The magic pill is what everybody's looking for. So I found it. It's called Tylenol. Okay. It's our magic pill. So let me tell you how it's going to work. If you want success in real estate, especially in a downturned market, we've got to double down on everything. So before I get into my 7 things, when I talk about doubling down, you've got to increase the amount of contacts that you make. For every 5 contacts, I'll give you 1 Tylenol. 10 contacts, you get 2, and 20, you get 3. But you got to do it in front of me. So you can make an appointment to sit in front of me and make your calls, and I will give you the magic pill. And I'm telling you, if you do that, the magic will happen, because you're going to have more conversations with people. The more conversations you have, the better chances you have of getting another deal. That's the magic pill. But where it all starts is with what I was talking about last week in some of my emails. In order to get the magic pill, you got to self-educate. I've thought about this for years, and for those that read my email last year, I often was down on myself because I don't have the college education that my sisters have. But then the more I thought about it over the years, my father and I invested $1,000 a month for 16 years to pay the Mike Ferry organization to teach us about real estate. And one of the things that it taught us was great skills, how to talk to people, to remind us of what we need to do, to hold us accountable, those type of things. And what's interesting is a lot of the people that we sat in those seminars with have gone on to create coaching programs. Look at Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry sat in those meetings with us. Tom Ferry is one of the biggest coaches in the area. Bruce Keith coached us for years, has a great coaching program.
Tony DeSello
went on to lead the coaching program at Keller Williams. We have Gordon Watson and Steve Powers, who a lot of us saw at a seminar at the West Shore Country Club. Jeff Glover, who I sat with at the seminars and the management retreats, talking to him in the hot tub at the Hyatt in California. He went on to create a coaching program. Mike Stott and Donna Fleetwood with Your Coaching Matters. All these companies are great. There's nothing wrong with any of them. What you have to decide is, are you going to self-invest and educate into one of these systems? Because like I said in the email last week, there is no real magic pill. It's just hard work. So number 1 was to self-educate. My next email that I sent out talked about success, focus, and effort. And with the success, focus, and effort, it really says, if you want success, it will always come down to the focus and effort, and we can control both. So how would you rate your focus for last week? I said in the email, I think that was yesterday, would you have hired yourself? Would you have paid yourself $100,000 or $200,000 a year for the focus and effort that you put in last week? It's something for you to think about. If you would have hired yourself and paid yourself $200,000, that's great. If it's not something that you would hire yourself, then you need to focus on your effort. And with that, you can create the money that you want if you just focus and you put in the effort. The next email that is coming out, I think it's coming out today, is being profitable. Okay. If you want the magic pill of real estate, you got to be profitable in this business. Now, in a downturn market, you might want to slash expenses. Okay. Now, what expenses should you slash? Non-essential expenses. Okay. Maybe you need to look at the money that you're spending on marketing and determine the return on investment that you're getting from your marketing. Or you could, like I said in the beginning of this call, double down. Because see, if you come and sit in front of my desk and I give you the magic pill, all you have to do is invest your time to make those calls. And when your skills improved from you self-educating and you make those calls and you double the amount of calls, guess what's going to happen? You don't have to slash expenses. You start making money. The next call that you make could be $10,000. And if you don't quit and you go for another one, you might get $20,000. And like I said in my email, the next thing you know, you've had a great month. Maybe 20,000 isn't a great month. Maybe you need to make 30 calls and get another lead. So you get $30,000. But the easiest way to get out of a problem that you might be experiencing with your income is to double down on the amount of calls. Last Monday, my dad came into my office. I don't know, it might have been about 4:30, 4:45. And he's like, boy, oh boy, I'm tired. I made 65 calls today. 65 calls. He's 89 years old. I'm trying to get you to make 5, 10, 20. He made 65. You can do it too. You just have to double down, create the focus, and have the effort. The next thing that you're going to see in maybe the email tomorrow is with the magic pill is building better relationships. You want to make more money? Build better relationships. How do you do that? Look, we just had a family fun day here to help support Penn State's Children's Hospital. It was a great turnout. Throughout the day, we had a lot of people here. Even at the end, when the riders came in at 2 or 2:30, there were people. There were some people from the neighborhood. There were people here. We're building relationships by doing that. We can expand on that. My dad and I and Brooks and Kathy went to a seminar a couple months ago, the family forum at E-Town College, family business forum. And the general that stood up there, the brigadier general, talked about debriefing after your next appointment. Well, you know what we did on Monday after the family fun day and bike ride? We debriefed. We had a meeting. We talked about what went good and what didn't go good. We talked about how we can make it better and how we can improve on it. You know, the next time you go on a listing appointment, sit down with one of your teammates and debrief. Talk about how the appointment went, what you could have done better, what you should have maybe have done, and do that. It's something that we learned. You know how we learned that? We self-educated. Back to my email from last Friday. So after you build better relationships, now we gotta practice, okay? Keith LaPrairie and Kathy are up here every Tuesday and Thursday practicing in the conference room. If you wanna do more business in a down market, especially because it just doesn't come to you like it used to. If you wanna do more business, you gotta improve your skills. You've gotta practice. Kobe Bryant out-practiced everybody. He would get up at 3 in the morning and he'd have 2-3 hours in before the team even showed up. Why did he do that? Because he wanted to outperform everybody else. If you want to make a lot of money and you don't want to worry about your bills anymore, double down, practice, self-educate, focus, be profitable, build relationships. And my next point is mindset. You got to have the mindset to do all these things. Now, I've talked to Kara quite a bit because we coach, and Kara has a really strong mindset. She's not going to let this downturn market affect her. And she wants to outwork the competition. And I'm very excited every week when I get to talk to her, because she doesn't allow negativeness into her life and doesn't allow this downturn in a market to affect her business. Kara, what are some of the things that you do to make your mindset not allow you to hear the negativeness about the market?
Well, Tim, I mean, I just start every day with taking the time to get my mind right, truly, because it all begins there. I'm a planner. I plan out my day the night before. I make sure what my appointments are, because if I don't have things laid out and planned, then I'm kind of scattered, running late. And whenever that happens, I'm not my best. So I plan the night before, look over my calendar. Not that things can't change during the day, because they often do in this business, but there's so much here that we can control. We really can. And so, yeah, we're not going to fail. My team's not going to fail. The only way somebody's going to fail in this business is if they give up and they don't do the necessary steps to take them, to the next level. I remember coming out of, 2005, 6, 7, whenever we were all fat and happy, and then 8 hit. And we lost so many different agents, but the ones that stuck in there, and everybody on this call and everybody that's with First Advantage, truly, I believe this, we have the support that we need to take us to the next level.
Thank you, Karen. Brent, if you can unmute yourself for a second. You lost 100 pounds a couple of years ago. First, you self-educated yourself, didn't you?
Sure did.
How did you do that?
So, and it all started with a meeting, as a matter of fact, in your living room with a doctor, Dr. Brian Bixler, who's an orthopedic surgeon, but he educated me on eating properly. And I did just that, exactly what Kara said. I changed my mindset. I changed the way I was thinking, and truly took that on and continued that. He used to do speaking, or he used to do education classes. So went down, even though I was doing the program, I continued to go there and listen to it. And it may have been the same exact thing over and over and over again, but I had to keep it on top of my mind, in front of my face, at all times, just to continue the journey. And it is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Just like our business, it doesn't happen immediately. It's a long process. It is consistency, and consistency wins.
Okay, good. Now, Brent, the next point in my talk today with the magic pill is discipline. Okay, how did you discipline yourself to do what you did?
Well, again, like Kara just said, I have to start my day every day with a mindset. So just like Kobe Bryant, I get up early in the morning. So there are no excuses that I have to put myself out there, and I actually go to the gym. I wake up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym, and I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. There's no excuses. The only excuse for me is myself getting in the way. So the discipline is I got to get up at 4 a.m. to do it, because it's got to better myself. Educating and making that choice to do it is the only thing that sets anybody apart, is doing what other people don't want to do.
Okay, thank you. Dad, the last point that I have with this magic pill talk is commitment. What was the commitment that you made when we got into the Mike Ferry system to start to educate ourselves?
I decided that I had to pay 100% if I wanted to take myself and you and what we had left to become very successful. That meant learning the system, and it is a system. Everything that we're talking about here is a system. You know what the system is? Creating new good habits instead of letting the bad habits linger. I just talked to Stacy yesterday about Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill is a father, in my mind, of all of these coaches that you're talking about. He interviewed the most successful men in this country. He established a program from listening to all these guys to now what Mike Berry, Gordon Watson, all of the coaches, they all talk about the same thing. You have to start with commitment. You have to have a program. That program makes you analyze what you're doing. We give you that sheet that talks about expireds. It talks about BISBOs. It talks about centers of influence. It talks about past clients. The only way that you can determine how good or how bad you're doing is to chalk those calls up to every one of those clients and see where you're most successful. Every one of us have strengths and weaknesses. It's our continuing education and our continuing learning from the research that we can analyze if you are accountable to yourself every day and you're not sloughing this stuff off. That system is in place for a reason. And that reason is for you to get better in everything that you do. If you're not successful with the expired, it's because number one, you haven't learned the script. And number two, you haven't learned the dialogues. And number three, there's a little thing called neuro-linguistic training. And this is telling you when somebody says to you, I don't want that to happen, you don't argue with them. I can agree with you. There are certain things that will happen and certain things that won't happen. It's all in the way you approach and you speak to people. And that is continuous learning. This is a great profession. We get a license just like a doctor. Most of us don't give a damn about anything else except getting the money. That's not what it's all about. You truly want to be a professional, you start from the beginning and you learn this system. Tim and I can give it to you. We can teach you exactly what you need to do. But you have to have the commitment to be 100% involved in this program if you really want to be successful. I just, I get excited about it. Okay, today I'm going to talk about myself. I shared with Stacy yesterday that we got this new program and we're trying to help build a property management department. It's called Reomni. I made 5, I didn't know any of these people. I made 5 calls, got 1 appointment, 1 listing. The next 59 calls that I made, I didn't get anything. Yesterday, on my 7th call, I got another lead. I handed it over to Brent. And on my 8th call, guess what? They're not going to do anything now, but the guy has 100 units. He's interested in talking to our company about signing up with this. Okay, how many calls is that? Over 100 and some odd calls, but it was worth it. And the net was there for us to go forward and get things done. Was it hard work? Did I complain? You bet your bip I did. But to me, everything that we do is worth it when you follow that system. I'm sorry, Tim.
That's okay. And when we
I get
kept
wound
track
up.
of our numbers, Dad, it was normally 102 phone calls and we do a piece of business. So it really works out to be the same thing. Keith, can you unmute yourself for a second?
Sure.
Keith's involved
Hello.
in a coaching training program called the Ninja System. Keith, can you tell us one or two things of why you committed to that program and how much you like it?
So I didn't know that it was what I was doing for so long, so it fits perfectly with me. It's I'm involved in coaching because, you know, it gives me someone to talk to about the problems I'm having, so possible solutions, different ways of looking at things. You know, we're working right now to work on my schedule to be, you know, more scheduled, which is difficult for me because I like to fly by the seat of my pants, which is some days great and other days I get swamped with things I shouldn't be doing. So it's nice to have somebody to hold me accountable, and I still coach with Gene too. So, you know, I meet with somebody every week to talk about my business.
Okay, thank you. Brent, if you can unmute yourself one more time, I just want to talk about the building relationships thing again. So this past Saturday, we had the motorcycle ride. Brent, we all participated, a lot of us participated in the ride. And again, thank you for everybody that participated and helped support that event. That was really great. But while we were at the Trindle restaurant or cafe or Trindle Inn in Carlisle, Brent and I were having a conversation with the owner as he gave us a check for $500 for Penn State's Children's Hospital. And through that conversation, Brent, what did you find out?
Found out that him and his father own 6 acres right there where the Trindle Inn is, with that as well as 2 other commercial buildings. But right behind those buildings, he has a set of 20 units for property management. He is very, very interested in sitting down with me and furthering our relationship and possibly taking over that 20 unit building for property management.
Okay. Good. So you got that lead because you put yourself out there. You had on a shirt that had that you were in the business. You talked and had a conversation and it built a relationship that you might get a lot of business from because you put yourself out there. It's my point exactly. Double down right now. If we want to dominate the downturn, you got to double down on the number of conversations that you have. And when you do that, and like Poppy said, when you make 65 calls, you get a headache, and that's when you take the magic pill. Anybody have any questions? Brooksy, Kong, want to add anything?
You know, I just want to add, me personally, I've learned as I get older to embrace the suck. A lot of times doing all this hard work and making these calls, having the difficult, you know, conversations, they're most definitely going to suck at times. And you might want to punch puppies, but just know that through, you know, these trials and difficult conversations, you're not only going to grow as a person, a business person, a spouse, but you know, you're going to be rewarded for it.
Okay, good. So I just want to close with one thing. Have the focus today and the discipline and the mindset to make your 20 calls and call me and let me know you did. Thank you and have a great day.